"I'm not back, I'm better." I can't even keep up with the number of times Sha'Carri Richardson said that this season. Whether it be on her own social media post or an interview, Sha'Carri was adamant about this. But with what she just did in Budapest, no, she isn't back. She isn't better either. She's the best. Her journey up to this point hadn't been easy. It had been filled with controversies and losses, criticisms and failures. But Sha'Carri Richardson pushed forward, and her 100-meter run in Budapest had been a culmination of everything she went through, suffered from, and powered through to get to this point in her career. Yes, Sha'Carri Richardson has just achieved exactly what she has been aiming for this season and the seasons before this. American sprinter Sha'Carri Richardson, the Olympic hopeful, turned in a personal best of 10.65 seconds in the women's 100-meter sprint at the World Athletics Championships at the National Athletics Center. With that, she asserted herself as a medal contender at the Paris Olympics. So yes, you know what's next for her. But before looking into the future, next year really, let's focus on the now. Because if you weren't paying attention, Sha'Carri has just bagged gold in Budapest. In the past months, this was just something she was hoping to do, get and take home the gold. Her 100-meter races this season hadn't been easy as well. She may have been undefeated 8 times in the distance, but her winning streak was shattered by Julian Alfred in July. But, on the other hand, her races and record times were proof enough that she was ready to take on her 100-meter competitors. Before we dig deeper into Richardson's much-deserved first-place finish, here's a quick recap of Sha'Carri's 100-meter journey this season, leading up to her taking gold at the Worlds. At the Miramar Invitational in South Florida, Sha'Carri ran a blistering 100-meter, finishing the race with a wind-assisted 10.57 seconds, 4.1 milliseconds, the 4th fastest time in history in all conditions of 10.57 plus 4.1 milliseconds tailwind. Richardson's time equates to 10.77 with 0 wind assistance. Then, in May, Sha'Carri Richardson basically left her rivals in the dust at the 2023 Doha Diamond League when she streaked to a 100-meter victory in the first Diamond League meeting of the season in Doha, setting a meet record with a time of 10.76 seconds. Besides setting a new meet record, Richardson also notably beat Jamaica's World 200-meter champion, Sha'Carri Jackson. And that wasn't the only time she outran Jackson, the fastest in the 100-meter of the season, well, at least until Budapest. At the 2023 Silesia Diamond League in Poland, Richardson and Jackson once again faced off on the track, but it was Sha'Carri Richardson who came out on top, clocking 10.76. That's the second blow she'd give Jackson, and it wasn't the last either. Sha'Carri also won the women's 100-meter title at the first Star Athletics Sprint Series track and field athletics event of 2023, clocking 10.73 seconds in windy conditions. She easily won her heat in Monteverde, Florida, and continued her dominant form in the final 90 minutes later. Richardson's winning time of 10.73 seconds came with a wind speed reading of plus 2.6 milliseconds, which rules the performance ineligible for records. She finished 0.07 seconds ahead of USA's World Championship medalists Brittany Brown in second and Twanisha T.T. Terry third in 10.82. Then, at the 2023 U.S. Track and Field Championships in Eugene, Oregon last month, Richardson sped to a 10.82 in the women's 100-meter final to take the title ahead of Brittany Brown, who clocked at 10.90 seconds, while Tamari Davis was third with a time of 10.99. And now, just a few hours ago actually, Sha'Carri Richardson took home the 100-meter gold in her debut at Track and Field's World Athletics Championships in Budapest, Hungary on Monday.
Women's 100 World Final. The Jamaicans get out well. It's Sha'Carri Jackson, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price, Talu. Here comes Sha'Carri Richardson. Sha'Carri's done it!
Richardson's blazing time of 10.65 seconds came from the outside in lane 9. The time was a World Championship record and personal best for the 23-year-old. Notably, Richardson took 0.02 seconds off the previous best set by Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price last year. As you all know, the world record of 10.49 by Florence Griffith Joyner has been left untouched or at least unbroken for 3.5 decades now. Although Richardson wasn't able to break that record this time, she is now tied for the title of 5th fastest woman over 100 meters in history. More than that, and the gold of course, more honors came along with her win. For one, it was an unprecedented performance, as no one has ever won the title after making a final based on time instead of auto-qualifying. What's more, Richardson is the first American 100-meter world champion in 6 years. Before Richardson, the late Tori Bowie was the last U.S. sprinter to bring home the 100-meter gold from the Worlds in 2017. And no, I'm not even halfway done. That win was also a stunning upset of dominant Jamaican sprinters Shericka Jackson and Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, who finished 2nd and 3rd. I'm honored, I'm blessed. I had a great competition, pulled the best out of me, and I'm just honored to leave with a gold medal, she told reporters after the race. Despite the win, Richardson made sure that her feet were still firmly touching the ground. "I'm going to stay humble," she said. "I'm not back, I'm better, and I'll continue to be better." Richardson's appearance in the 100-meter final was also a dramatic accomplishment, as she finished 3rd in her semi-final heat, failing to grab one of 2 automatic spots to compete for the title. Richardson broke slowly out of the blocks and veered slightly to the right in her opening steps, costing herself time. But she closed well, and her 10.84 in the semis was the best of anyone not in the top 2, earning her a spot in the final. "She was more than capable of running 10.65, we knew that," said her agent Ronaldo Nehemia, who is notably a former world-class sprinter and hurdler himself. "We just knew that running it on the biggest stage in the world is a lot harder than just saying it." It was also a meaningful and notable win for her, as Richardson failed to advance out of the 100-meter heats at last year's U.S. Track and Field Championships. But look at her now. "I'm just so proud of her, because a year ago we were light years away from a full package of being able to compete at this level, and she's put in the work," Nehemia said. When asked about how she had achieved her moment of sweet redemption after years and years of unfavorable circumstances, Richardson said, "It's about knowing that no matter what happens, you never lose sight of yourself. You're going to have good days, you're going to have bad days, you're going to have better days. You're going to have worse days, but you live to see tomorrow. Every day the sun doesn't shine, but that's why I love tomorrow." Jackson, for her part, was disappointed. "I definitely have to go back and look at tonight," she said. "I think I executed as best as possible. Coach and I will have to discuss what I did. I can't tell you what I did different from what I did in Jamaica." Last year's champion Fraser-Pryce reflected, "Congrats to Sha'Carri and Shericka, it was really a fantastic race. Last year, I ran the 100 in a championship record, and it took a championship record tonight, so that's really remarkable." Make sure to stay tuned to be updated for more 2023 World Championships happenings.